folks, welcome back. As I said, after the break, something a little bit different. With the power of television, we've shot through to Mallacoota. That was pretty quick, wasn't it? Now we're here on an absolute glorious day. The wind's come up a little bit, but hey, that's to be expected. It's early October, fairly early for most of the species up here. The flathead really don't get going until November, December, and we get some really big ones, but we hope to show you a few. There should be a few kicking around. Now I've got a couple of people with me today. I've got Ian Brydeson with me, and you've seen him on the show before. And I've got my father, Alan Morrison. So a couple of generations and a good mate. So they're going to show me how to catch a few flathead. And if they can't do that, I've got to show them. But one way or the other, we're going to catch a few fish. And then hopefully, after we've had a day or so here, we might zip up to Womboyne, just over the New South Wales border, and see what we can find up there as well. Hopefully there'll be a few flathead and you can have a look at the place. But we'll try and show you a little bit of Mallacoota just in the next bit of piece. So follow us along. Mallacoota, Far East Gippsland, just near the New South Wales border. Let's see what we can find for you. Well folks, first fish of the day coming in, well, for me anyway. A nice little flathead. Now Mallacoota is renowned for its really big flathead. We're a bit early in the season, it's only very early October. Some years they'd be here now, this year they're not just yet, but it's early yet. I'll drag this one in and show you. He stays on. There we go. Now, they're the fish of about 42, 43 centimetres. That's a legal fish if I was going to keep one. I'm not. I hate handling these damn things. My mate Brett Geddes can get hold of them and just hang on tight, and he works like that somehow. So nice little dusky. Haven't got a measuring stick here, otherwise I would. But yeah, nice one. First one of the trip. Let's see if we can find you some better ones to show you. And away he goes. I didn't get spiked that time. Let's see what happens next time. Folks, we're just hopping those lures in close. Yes, I've got another fish on. Throwing the lures in close. Just little minnow patterns from Kamikaze. Hopping them back down the deep water, and as they're coming out, some of these flathead are hitting them. I'll land this bloke for you and show you how big he is, hopefully. Whoops. Now, there's a fish of around 45 centimetres. Again, a legal fish. Not keeping any. That's probably a female, or getting on toward a female. It's breeding season here in October. They're coming down, the big females are coming down to breed up out of the rivers and creeks, and I'd say that's a female. There's no way I'm going to keep it. That's going back in, and there's no way I'm going to grab hold of it, so I'll put it on the floor just for a minute, and hopefully we'll catch a few more. Still looking for that great big one, as all fishermen do. We get a bit, you know, just want those big fellas. We'll find one. Only day one, we've got a couple of days. Let's see what we can find you. Now folks, I've got a bit better fish on. Again, we're just throwing our lures right in close, just hopping them back out. The lure all of a sudden stops and you think, oh, I've got the bottom for a second. And no, it pulls a bit. So I'll just net this fish and show you. Hopefully. Now, I'll grab the lip grippers for this one, because I'm not grabbing hold of it. Just a second. I'll just grab him for you. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Now there's a lovely example of a dusky flathead from Mallacoota. That's probably around the 47, 48 mark centimetres. Nice fish again. Again going back. Get that lure out of there. It's a weekday and there's quite a few people fishing today. Why aren't they working? So there you go. Nice fish. We will measure that and I'll tell you just how big he is. Just 2 seconds. He's a 48 centimetres, so Nice fish. When they get up in the high 50s and 60s, then they're good. When they're up in the 70s and 80s, they're excellent. And Ray got a 90 centimetre last year, so I got to beat him. So, getting better. Let this one go. Folks, before we go, we haven't caught a lot of fish today. It's been pretty quiet, but tomorrow we're going to head up to Lake Womboyne, just over the border between Eden and Mallacoota, just in the New South Wales, and hopefully the fish will be a bit more cooperative. Like I keep saying, it's early in the season, they're going to get a lot better. If you're coming up to Mallacoota, to give you an idea of the place, the entrance is just behind me. It's a very shallow entrance, a dirty entrance, not an easy one to get through. The ab divers use it a lot, but a little while back they put in a brand new ramp here, a double ramp. There was a bit of controversy around it. I actually adore it, it's beautiful. Straight into the ocean, not a bad little spot. As you can see, it's pretty easy to get into. As you go up into the first lake, the township is at the southern end of the first lake. Then you've got what they call the bottom lake. Later in the season the flathead will be there in big numbers. Then you've got a narrow strip of water. When I say narrow, it's 500 metres wide, that separates the top lake from the bottom lake. At the moment the fish are up in the top lake. From there you wend your way through the mountains through a passage up to Gypsy Point, which is the junction of the Genoa and the Wallagarah rivers. Wonderful fishing areas all through. Depends whether you want to get out of the wind or you just want to drive. It doesn't take you long to get there, especially in the new Tabs boat. She hums along beautifully. Thanks to Regal Marine for supplying that machine. We've had an absolute ball with it. But if you're coming up, as I say, it's the summertime sort of an area. It's really hot fishing then. For winter time it's a bit quieter. A lot of, I suppose, bream in particular that go up the rivers to spawn. But this time of the year it's mostly flathead. So if you get up here, have a ball. Anyway, we've got to go home and refuel the boat and get ready for Lake Womboyne tomorrow. So I've got my father, Alan Morrison, with me. Ian Brack-Bridson behind the camera. Thank you for that. And I'm Neil Morrison from Kamikaze. Hope to see you next week with a show on Womboyne on Catch and Cook. See you then.